Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, my name is Precious. Welcome back to today's series on getting married young. If you're seeing me for the first time, I would like you to please press the subscribe button and the notification bell. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much. I've got my little daughter here and I'm filming this video, so you're going to be hearing her singing from the background. So this is another episode, or this is another video on getting married young, and I'm going to be talking about what no one tells you about getting married young. What nobody tells you. Precious is going to be laying it all out to you, because I got married at the age of 21, and a lot of people, the married women do not tell a lot of people the truth. That's the truth of the matter. It's very difficult for a married woman to come and tell you, oh, this is what I do in my husband's house, this is exactly how I do it. Married women, I have learned, tend not to say what they do in their houses because of the fear of being judged. But I'm going to be laying it all out. I'm going to be telling you what nobody tells you about getting married young. By the grace of God, I'm a mom of 4. I've got 4 kids and I've been married for over 12 years, and like I said, I married really young. There are a lot of challenges, I am going to be keeping it real. A lot of things that I went through getting married young, I am still going through just because I got married young. I'm going to be sharing them with you, and guess what? There are 10 of them I'm going to be sharing with you. The first thing is that your decisions are going to be questioned during and after marriage. That's it. You're married young, you don't have experience, you don't know anything, because the people who saw you getting married really young. So in their eyes, you will never grow. In their eyes, you will never be mature. In their eyes, it's like getting into a job with no experience, and obviously your employer or your colleagues see you making mistakes, doing all the errors and all of that, and tomorrow you want to apply for a managerial position. Really, at that place, it doesn't work. They would never ever see you as that person who is now a better person. They will always see you from a place of, oh, she always makes mistakes, she always does that. So the same thing in marriage, right? When you get married young, they will always question your decision. Let's say you get married young and you get pregnant, they will be like, oh my God, they are pregnant. Why did they get pregnant now? They have time not to get pregnant. Why did they get pregnant now? Or you buy a house, they will be like, oh my God, they bought a house. Do they even know the thing about buying a house? Or you travel, everything about you is going to be questioned. Everything about you is going to be like, are they okay? Do they do it very well? Are they sure of the decision they've just made? Is it okay? And all of that. And who are the people judging you? Your family, your friends, and your husband's family, and your wife's family. So just expect that as you're getting married as a young person, you're going to be judged, you're going to be questioned. Like, people will never see you as a grown adult. People will always see you in the eyes of someone who married young. So your decisions are going to be continually questioned. Another thing as well is that you will be the one that will be questioning yourself, questioning your decisions. As a young person, I remember those days when I got married really young, there are things that I do, or there are things that I did that I was waiting for validation, because I was that young, I was that naive. I was waiting for my husband to say, oh, it was good, or it wasn't good. I was always waiting for somebody to validate something for me, because I was really young. So you will continuously question yourself about decisions that you've taken. You will continually wait for validation from either your husband or family or all of that. You will be a judge for yourself. So that's one thing about getting married really young that nobody tells you, is that you will always question your decision. You will always question yourself, because you feel like you're not good enough, you feel like you don't have the experience, you feel like you're not mature enough to actually do the things that you do. So you would be the one questioning yourself. So another thing about getting married young that nobody tells you is that you will change beyond recognition. I'm talking to myself now. The precious of even last week is not the precious of today, because I am changing, I am evolving for good. When I got married, I was a size 6, I was tiny, I was small, I was naive, I was so in every area of my life. I was immature, basically. But look at me, Precious, talking on camera. Look at me expressing myself. Look at me teaching. Look at me trying to help other people. Look at me. Look at Precious. See me. Look at me. That's why sometimes when I talk, I say, look at that young girl who didn't know anything, who was naive and all of that. Look at me. I have changed. I have evolved. I have matured. One of the things that one of my subscriber wrote on one of the videos, which I think you should be commenting on my videos. Whenever you watch my video, please drop something on the comment section. It really encourages me. It makes me feel like, oh God, they've watched, they can relate. If you relate to, or you can relate with anything that I've mentioned on my video, I would like you to please drop something on the comment section. So she dropped something on the comment section and she was like, she had matured, she has evolved, she has learned, she has grown. What nobody tells you about getting married young is that you will mature, you will grow, you will change beyond recognition. Another thing that nobody tells you about getting married really young is that you will lose your single friends. For me, because I got married really young, right, it was a very difficult time, and this is something people don't really talk about when they get married. This is one area people don't talk about, is the fact that by the time you get married, you're getting married young. That's one. And now you're at that time in your life where you get married, your single friends cannot relate anymore. So they will have to shift basically. And because you're young, you cannot relate with the aunties them that are already married. You cannot relate with the big people that are already. So you're lonely. That's one thing nobody tells you about getting married, is that you're going to be lonely. Because your friends are going to leave you, most of your single friends. And it's not because they are leaving you because of something bad or that. It's just because them too, they are young, so they don't understand marriage. They can't get it. Even if you have problem, they can't advise you. They can't say anything about your marriage because they are young. So they just have to shift and give you space to learn, give you space to grow, give you space to bond with your partner. So for me, I lost all my friends. Like all my friends, I lost them. Even up till now, some of my friends are still single. I'm telling you, some of my friends are still single. The ones that are married, few of them that are married, yeah, we do chat once in a while. But it was just like all my friends just left. Precious is married. Precious needs to spend time. And it was even worse that I married and I now moved to the UK. So I moved to the UK after I got married. So that even made the relationship, that the little one that I had, just broke. So what nobody tells you about getting married young is that you're going to lose your friends, and because of the gap, because of where you are, you may not be able to make friends, because the people who are married are older than you, and the people who are your age mates are not married. So you're just in that place where basically your husband or your wife will have to be your friend. Another thing as well no one says about marriage, which marrying young, which I've talked about, is that you find it difficult to make friends because of the position you find yourself, because you're like in a hole where on this side of the bridge are your single friends that are not married, your single friends that cannot be your friend because they don't understand what marriage is, they are very young, and on this side are people who are older than you and are married. They can't relate, they can't understand what they can, even if they do, they will, because of our Nigerian culture and because of our tradition, respect, you tend to make friends mostly with people of the similar age range. So you find it difficult to make friends. It's very rare for you to, when I got married, I don't think I had people who were of my age that were married. I couldn't find anybody. So it was a very lonely place for me, and my husband was just my friend. My husband and my family, my mom, my dad were the ones that were talking to me and all of that, but it was very lonely. So if you're single and you're young and you want to get married, well, this age or now, right, it's a bit better because you find people who are getting married young as well. So there is that opportunity for you to actually meet up with people, or even if you don't meet up with people, you can have friends online, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Clubhouse. You can find friends of your married as well and young like you, so you'll be able to be friends with them. So things are getting better, but that's one thing that I personally suffered from, and I guess a lot of people who married then as well suffered being married young. Another thing as well that no one tells you about getting married young is that your immaturity sometimes could cause problem. For me, because I married young and my husband is a little bit older than me, and obviously he was more mature than me, there were some things that he would ask me to do, and by the time I give him my opinion, he would just look at me and be like, and you can just tell that he's just saying, what's wrong? What's she talking about? She doesn't know what she's talking about. Yeah, so sometimes your immaturity can cause problem, but thankfully it didn't cause problem. Derrick was very understanding. Derrick was always helping me, teaching me. One of the things Derrick does for me, even up to now, is that if he's watching any video or watching anything that he finds interesting that I'm going to benefit from, he sends it to me, either on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere at all. He sends it to me. He's constantly helping me to mature, and the way he does it, he doesn't do it to like ridicule me or to make me feel like, oh, you need to improve in this area. He sends most of the things he sends to me are funny things anyway, but he has sent his message, and I do understand that he has sent a message. So your immaturity sometimes, if it's not taken care of, if you're married to someone who is not patient, who does not understand, and very, very impatient with you, might begin to cause problem. That's one thing nobody tells you about getting married young. So another thing as well is that you find it difficult to find your identity. So this is someone who was single, very immature single, becomes married, somebody's wife, and becomes somebody's mother. You're just moving from one phase to another without even knowing who you are. And this is one reason I advise people to not to get married really young. You need to find yourself. It's that important to find yourself because of your identity. And it gets to a point where you begin to ask yourself, am I just somebody's wife? Am I just somebody's mom? Who am I? Who are you? Who are you, precious? Who are you? Who really are you, precious? So you need to be able to answer that question. That's one area, that's one aspect of getting married young that no one tells you about, is that there's that time in your life you begin to have issues with who you really are, with your identity. Another thing nobody tells you about getting married young is the fact that a lot of people will not be happy. That's the truth. You'll be like, oh, why? A lot of people will be like, she's too young. Why? Can she not wait? She's only 20, she's only 21, she's only 22. What's the rush for? Why is that? Nobody tells you about that. People will genuinely not be happy for you. It's not because they don't want to be happy. It's just because they feel scared for you, or it's just because they feel worried for you. That's the reason people will not be happy for you. But you need to know that for you to get married young, people may genuinely not be happy because you're getting married young. Another thing about getting married young no one tells you is the fact that you may grow apart. You know, the thing about getting married young is the fact that oh my God, you're in love, head over heel in love with this person. You're so young, you're so excited for the future. You don't know what the future holds. You're like, oh my God, what's going to be happening? There's that possibility that both of you would begin to mature. And by the time you begin to mature, you begin to find out that there are things that you like, you value, that this person does not like and value. And at the end of the day, you may just go your separate ways, because you come to that point in your life where you be like, I did not enjoy my life, I did not live my life the way I wanted to live my life, and at this point in my life I am not happy, I am sad. So you just go your separate ways. So what nobody tells you about getting married young is that there's that tendency that you may grow apart. Basically, grow apart is possible. So in conclusion, which is my number 10, is that some things work, some things don't work. At the end of the day, you know what is best for you. At the end of the day, you know what you genuinely want. And this is why I always say everybody's different. What works for Precious may not work for you. Yes, Precious got married really young, and by the grace of God, things are working very well for me. It may not work for you, but I just thought I should put it out there. These are the things that people who marry young are likely going to be suffering from. It's not an exhaustive list, obviously, but it's just something that you need to know. So if you're someone out there, you're wanting to get married young, I would say pray about it. I would say find yourself. Very importantly, pray about it and find yourself. If these two things are sorted and you have the go ahead from God, if God has spoken, who are you to say it shouldn't happen? So like I said in conclusion, Do what works for you. The things I've just listed are the things that are real and nobody tells you about getting married young. But if you've watched all these things, if you've looked at it, you know that, you know what, my partner has the ability, I have the ability, I have the skill set or the tendency to be able to beat these things that I've said. Go ahead, get married, have a fantastic life. People are still getting married young, people get married later. Whichever one that you fall into and you're someone who wants to get married, go for it and make your home a beautiful thing or a beautiful place to be. Is there anything I've not mentioned, or is there anything I've mentioned that really strikes a chord or makes sense to you? Please let me know in the comment section. Is there anything I haven't mentioned that you feel people who marry young actually go through but nobody talks about it? Let me know in the comment section. Naomi needs me now. But for now, be graceful, be positive, and be yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.